Welcome to the System Design Post-Mortem by Rory Ludden. So, I'll go over everything and design ideas and what was meant to happen, what didn't. So to begin, we have the cave. The cave is where you will start the game, right at the player start, and it will introduce you to coins and it will introduce you to keys. The idea was for it to also introduce you to the interact function that currently is not used in the game. It was meant to be that the entire room was pitch black and you had to light each of the campfires to illuminate your path to the key and the door. The point of this is to tell players that these types of keys, or collecting keys, will allow you to open the door, as well as showing you the door key, hint feature. Uh, this and the next room is inspired by a level in the Mega Man series where they'll introduce individual aspects of a level on their own before combining them and throwing them at you, teaching you how to play the game very subtly. There will be coins which line your path of where to go through the beginning, and then they will eventually stop. We have obviously the playable characters, with the screen of the other player, the currently non-possessed character, being in the corner as visual feedback for the players to know what's going on. Whilst I tried my best to keep signs out of the game, there were moments. There's three things which I have to use them just to explain something across, because I haven't made it the clearest in my levels, such as the pressing of the keys 1 and 2 to swap your characters between player 1 and player 2. Then you have player 2 is currently in the cage, and you need to try and figure out a way to let them out so you can progress. So has the player unable to get up, so we have to, and they can't do anything. This shows the teamwork of the game. So player 1 then sees this sign over here, noticing that movable objects are a different colour to most. In player 2 situation, we have a single object that is a lot darker than anything else, meaning that this is able to move upon player 1 standing on the platform. This then allows player 2 to progress and escape through the gap in the fence. The entire map itself is surrounded by lava as a way to prevent players from falling out of the map and then not being able to progress. There's not many places that they can jump out, but it is useful. This is the last sign in the game. It's just telling you that you may perform a double jump in order to get to higher places. This is a split path. Only one player can go down each path because the doors will shut behind you once you've passed through. This divides the players and has them tackle their own individual puzzles, but they are still helping the other player within the puzzle that they do. This is inspired by the two-player co-op mode within Portal 2, where both players need to work together in order to progress in their own section. We have checkpoint flags as a respawn anchor whenever you die by the cannons in the game or by the damaged floor, which is to avoid. Now, there's nothing left to do in this room. We can't progress anymore, but we can see that there is a slightly coloured rock, meaning that this is an item that can move. We also see the platform that allows our player to move something. But if we get on it, we can't see anything happening on either player's screens because player 1 is still not in the correct location. So this forces the player to switch back over to player 1 and use them to progress. Because the door is shut, they can't soft lock themselves by getting into the other player's path. Again, there is a checkpoint here, so upon both players having their checkpoints, there's no worry about them crossing, because as long as one player can die, they'll be able to reset to their original point. So once again, there's nothing that we can do in this room. We've got a locked door. We notice because it is red, it's not green like it was before. We have the slight change of colour over in that direction for that rock, and we have the slight colour change here. But we know that in player 2's situation, we are able to stand on this platform. So we get to see what will change. So yeah, you see the visual feedback of the rock moving. The two ways that this could have been done is through audio and visual feedback, but I preferred to do it with a visual style. Upon collecting the key, you then realise that you need to open this door. And when opening the door, you notice the standable platform. So we bring back our player 2, so we can see what we think is going to move, being the rock now. The rock is now moved, allowing us to progress slightly further. Avoiding the cannonballs, you then see this platform and decide to step on it. And if you notice, the one thing that moved was that platform up there. Not very helpful at the moment. But then we have another one here. Upon standing on this one, we notice that the rocks descend into the floor, allowing player 1 to come and join us. Upon hitting the checkpoint, we have the final puzzle. One of the final puzzles. Player 1, or one of the players must stand on here, whilst the other has to backtrack in order to hit the switch here, in order to have them raise up. Puzzles like this are very common in these types of games, where you can't leave one player behind, you have two switches, one on both ends of the puzzle, so that both players are able to achieve here. The game I looked at for this inspiration was the game Fireboy and Water Girl. So with that, both players are now up here. This is the instance that you have to use the double jump to continue upwards for the final puzzle, which is the final platforming instance, where you need to get yourself onto the floating island platform. Now, there are two ways to do this. There's obviously just a basic, you wait for it to end, and then you do the double jump, or you can carry the momentum from the block. But if you fail, you can always jump back. With a single double jump, you can reach to the top. So, yes, that is the puzzle platforming game for system design by Rory Ludden. This was the post-mortem review. So upon hitting the flag at the end here is when the level would end and the game would quit out.